In this video, I show you how to set up a camera trap and catch wild animals in the wild from start to finish. Not a single hide has been paid for, just you tracking, just you and the wild animals. Okay, so this is the trail cam here. I'm going to bolt it to this branch on here. I might even come back a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll bolt it on here, and let's just see what we get. So I'm going to open the clamp up. These are small rig clamps, absolutely brilliant clamps for bolting absolutely anything, absolutely anywhere. So I'm now just going to clamp that onto there. So that's onto there. Turn the camera around to the rough position, like so. Like so. So I've got it pointing in that direction now. I'm going to take the phone now and set the trail cam up with the phone, because I can actually see through the phone and see where it's pointing at. So I'm going to go back to the camera now, turn the app on for this, so I can get it in the right place, and then we'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've gone to the back of my cam park trail cam, and I've switched the Wi-Fi signal on, and I'm waiting for the signal to be picked up. And it's changing modes now, so we can actually see through the front of the camera, so I can actually point the camera exactly where I want it to go. And once I've got it in the position, I can go away and leave it, and I will leave it for 3 days and come back in 3 days. Okay, so I've been away for 3 days, left this unattended, and I've come back and checked it, and lo and behold, we've got otters. Quite a few otters as it happens, up and down here all the time, coming in, inspecting the camera, sniffing the camera. They're a bit wary, you can see them eyeing it up, things like that. But we've got a lot of otter activity. I was here a few years ago and got a few shots of them. I've not been down here for a couple of years, but I'm back, and there seems to be quite a lot of otter activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another trail camera here, because we've got this trail cam down here covering this area here, and I want to see what's happening over here, because you very often get them coming up and down here. So I've got this trail cam here. I'm going to point it in that direction. Hopefully it won't put the otters off for a few days. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up, and then come back in about a week, and if there's still quite a lot of activity, I'm going to bring a full complete camera trap setup, which comprises of a Nikon D3200 in a waterproof housing, all the waterproof flashes, waterproof sensors, and we're going to set up here and see if we can get some nice shots of detail shots of otters as well as badgers as well, because we often get badgers coming up and down here. Of course, we'll get the rats, and we'll get the squirrels, and we'll get the all that sort of thing. You can't help that. But what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and limit it by putting a funnel on the sensor, on the PIR infrared sensor, so it'll only set off when it goes through that tunnel. So I'll see in a week's time whether it's worth bringing a full camera trap out here and leaving it up for a couple of months to see what we can get. So at the moment, pretty happy with what I've got, so I'm going to set this up, go away and leave it, and pop back in about a week. So I come back about a week later, and I can see the otters there looking up at the camera. There was 2 or 3 otters going backwards and forwards, so I decided to set up the full camera and go for it and see what we can get on the full camera trap. Okay, the camera's all switched on now, and I've got it set to single shot, so I'm going to have a walk through the area. Hopefully it should fire, so let's just see if it's all working okay. So the area is around this area here, to be on that stone there, beyond that stone there, so that should fire when I walk into the area. 1, 2, and it fired. Okay, so that seems to be working okay. Of course, it picked me up when I returned, so I'm now going to switch it to 5 frames a second. Okay, so now I've gone and turned it to 5 frames a second now. So when I go through there, it should fire 5 frames, and when I walk back, it'll probably fire another 5. But it'll get, so if the otter goes through, as it's going through, it should fire a frame rapidly, fire 5 frames a second, and the flashes should keep up. So let's see if we do. So I'm the otter. I'm swimming up here, and I go through the sensor. And yep, it picked me up. So yeah, it's all working okay. That's the flash picking me up, returning. So it's fired another 5. So yeah, it's working absolutely fine now. So I'm going to switch it all on now, turn the trail cams on, get out of here, and leave the otters to it. Okay, another thing I should add, that on this Camtraption's PIR, there's a row of dip switches on there. I think there's a row of 8. And at the moment it's set to fire all the time, anytime you go past it. So in daytime, nighttime, it'll fire. I don't need to fire in the daytime. I don't want squirrels on here and rats on here. I only want it at nighttime. It's nighttime I'm aiming for. So I'm going to turn this top dip switch here over to number 1, so it'll only fire at nighttime. So I should only get shots at nighttime. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get myself off now and leave them to it. Okay, so it's been 2.5 to 3 weeks now since I put my trial cams back, down. And when I put my trial cams down, I did check. The camera pointed this direction, and my trial cam did pick up quite a lot of otter activity. So I'll come and I put the full camera trap down. I've obviously got the camera trap here, and I had a flash there, which has now been moved, and I've got a flash there. And after leaving it for nearly 2 weeks, zero really, apart from a rat going up and down this pipe constantly flattening my batteries. So, but what I did do, I had a trial cam. Here's a trial cam here, and I had it pointing down at this area here, as well as one pointing down where I thought the otter was going to be, just to check this, see what's coming on here. And I've checked the footage, and we've got foxes jumping over here, we've got muntjacs coming down, and we've even had a badger drinking water, which I picked up on the trial cam. So what I've gone and done, my camera trap, my Nikon D3200 here with the Camtraption equipment in it, I've simply turned it around 360. I've moved it slightly away from this side because there's a post in the way there, and I want to be able to get some activity where that area is there. So I've moved it slightly into the middle, and I've paced it out to 2 meters. So where the focus point is about 2 meters. That flash I've simply turned right, it was pointing that direction, and now it's pointing this direction. And the flash which I had here, I've moved forward and I've put here. So I've metered these out, these flashes, and they're approximately 2 meters. Ideally, I wanted one there, but I've got nothing to bolt it on at the moment, and I've got a hanging branches. So we've sort of got one in the middle and one to the side. So we should get a bit of modelling. We'll just see what we get. So I've come down here. And on here, I don't know if you can see down here, if the camera shows down here, we've actually got deer prints there where they've skidded down to drink. And we've had badgers coming across. And we had a fox springing from this side over to this side. So there seems to be quite a little bit of activity here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep my trial cam back there to see what activities, if I miss any of the otters. It will be typical. I'll set it for this direction and it'll come there, but as it seems to be a bit of a traffic area here, where the traffic area used to be that area back there, which I used to call Badger Crossing, they seem to be coming over here now. So I'm going to turn my activity to here and see what we've got. So all I've got to do now is get my sensor, mount my sensor. So I'm going to mount it up here so it points down, so it only picks up this area about 2 meters from the camera. Do a quick test shot, make sure everything's all right, and leave it for another couple of weeks. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to it in a few days. Okay, so I've been away for about 4 days again. I've come back to my camera trap, I've opened it up and I've checked it. I've checked my trial cams, and yes, I have got the otters going through. There was a lot of otter activity behind me. They seemed to come to the camera trap and go back, so it wasn't caught on camera trap. I've checked that where the camera's now pointing. Yes, I was right to turn it 180 degrees. And yes, we've had the otter going up and over that brickwork there, that block work, and I've caught him on my camera trap with my flash system. So that's looking good. So I can go home now and edit him and blow it up and print it A3 with my new Epson ET-8550, I think it is, and I'm going to print it A3 on paper, so you can see this from start to finish. You see me setting the trap up, you see me put it out, you see me get the shot, and I'm now going to print a print and show you, and you tell me if it was all worthwhile. So I've come back to the camera trap. You see the camera trap open there. I've opened the camera trap to have a look, see what was on it, and it's fired 144 times. I've checked it, and on the 16th frame, lo and behold, just there, we've got a badger perching as though it's going to drink, as though it's going to jump over. I'm not quite sure, but what happened is the sensor above there, which is live and active at the moment, picked it up, and it fired the camera 5 times, and the flash kept up 5 times. So we've got 5 reasonable images of the badger. I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to use, but so I did decide about 2 weeks ago to turn this camera, because the camera was pointing towards that direction, and what was happening was that there was popping and seeing it, and there was moving out of the way. So I decided that, and I had a trail cam up there, and that was picking a bit of activity up here. We had a fox jump over, and various things on the trail cam. So I turned the camera around, as you can see now, pointing this direction over that step. And I come back a week ago, and we got the otter on it. Very pleased with that. 5 lovely photographs of the otter coming on that stone there. So instead of taking it away, I decided to keep it up for at least another week, and we're about 5 days down the line now. So I come back to check it, and lo and behold, yes, we'd got the badger. So you can see now that the sensor above there, that's the sensor, and it's active now. So if I was the badger, this is what happened. So the badger come down that grass bank, it come into the sensor area, the sensor picked it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it fired 5 frames. And it's fired another 5 now because I'm in the sensor. So I've got a lovely picture of the badger, and I'm going to take you now to the back of the camera so we can have a look at it on the back of the camera. See, and then you'll see it later on at the video, because what I'm going to do at the end of the video, when I move all this video and take it all out of the way, depending on what pictures we've got, I'm going to take it to, I have got a new printer, it's an Epson ET-8550, and it prints up to A3 plus. And I'm going to print one of these pictures of either the badger or the otter, and show you the end result so you can see what I've done it from the beginning all the way through to the print. So I'm going to take you to the back of the camera now, and we're going to show you the pictures of the badger on the back of the camera. Okay, you can see down here, this is frame 15 out of now 214, and there's nothing on frame 15. I'll go to frame 16. There's frame 16. It's appeared, the flash has picked it up. It's wondering what's going on. That's frame 17, frame 18, frame 19, frame 20, and then it's gone. So we've had 5 frames, all fully exposed, all lit up lovely, and we'll go ahead now and get those edited. Okay, so I've taken the old card out, took the old card out, here's a new card. I put the new card in, I do this every single time. I go into and I format the card. Make sure the card's formatted every single time so we don't get any problems with it. And we're good to go. I'll do a quick test shot. Make sure yeah, and that's all looking good. I see some blinky white lights there, that's telling me it's overexposed, but we are daytime and it is set. Look at the camera now, we're set at 200th of a second, f6.3, and I've got the flashes set at 2 meters apart and 2 meters from the subject, and they are 1/8 power, and they will keep up 5 frames a second. So I'm going to put it all back together now and leave it alone again. Okay, I've returned to the camera trap, and what I've decided to do after looking at some of the images what I've got, I've decided that I'm going to put a third flash in. So I've got a flash to the left and a flash to the right, creating that modelling for when anything comes down here. But the background's fallen off into darkness, which it is night time because I've got it set for night time, so it's going to be dark anyway. But what I've decided to do, I've put a flash around this fence post here around the back. I've got another Nikon SB28 on a Camtraption's receiver, and that's on channel 2 as well. So when the camera goes off and these two go off, that should go off as well. It's got an orange gel on it, so it should give like a warmish orangey glow in this area, adding a little bit more dynamic look to the image. So I'm going to pop the camera around and show you the one on the back of the pole. So I'll grab the camera now. Okay, so that's flash 1, and there's flash 2 up in the tree there. So we've got 2 flashes there. There's the camera. This is the direction the animal should be coming, somewhere down here. If I go behind this post here, and I go behind the post, you can see there that I've actually put another third flash there, and again that's the SB28, Nikon SB28, and it's got a colour gel on it, and underneath it we've got the Camtraption's receiver on channel 2. So when these two go off up here, the one behind should fire with a nice glow on it and should leave some sort of a glow around here. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pop back home now and leave it to do its thing. Okay, that's the end of this setup. I'm pretty pleased with that, pretty successful. Just running through the gear. I've got it all bolted to the tripod. Here we've got the camera, the housing. You can see here the front of the camera there with the lens there. That's the Camtraption's PIR sensor version 3. Flash 1, Flash 2, Flash 3. You can see there's an orange filter on the front of that one. And that's the trial camera to cover it all. Here a few poles which I bolted a few things to. And that's basically it. So I'm going to take this to another location now. I've got a location in mind. I'm going to put the trial cameras out for at least a week and see what's around. Set it all up and let's start it all over again, see if we can get some images to put through that printer. So after a little bit of thinking about it, I've got 2 images I quite fancy. I fancy this one and I fancy the one of the badger. Now the one of the otter, as much as I like it, there's quite a lot of the same colour in here really. So I went back to the badger. I've looked at the badger. It's a little bit more dynamic. It's probably a bit more common than the otter, but I like it. And if you look at the back there, in the background there, you can see the red light. So we've got a light from the left, a light from the right, and then we've got a light in the background there with an orange gel, so you can clearly see it in the background. So that's the image I've decided I'm going to go with to print. What I did, I went ahead and I put my little logo in the corner there. Okay, so here we have got it sent to the printer, and this is on permajet oyster paper. I'm printing A4, put a little border around the edge there because there's absolutely no need to print it borderless to overspray the printer unnecessarily. And I've put the profile in here. I've got the permajet profile here for the oyster paper, and this one is from Keith Cooper. So it's one of his profiles. I've got a perceptual and I've got the black point compensation ticked. So I'm going to go ahead there now and send it across to my printer. Okay, so that's it feeding into the printer. I'm not going to bore you with it all going through it when it takes quite a bit of a while to go through. So what I'll do is when it comes out the printer at the end, I'll turn the camera to the printer so you can see the print, and I'll show you the print. Okay, so it's printed away now, and I'll speed this up so you can see the print the final print at the end. Okay, so that took a couple of minutes to go off the printer. That's off the Epson 8550, and it's the continuous ink system. Pretty pleased with it. So I went out, we got it all set up. I got the print, and this is the print. So the print actually turned out really quite nice, to be honest. So if you possibly can, you drop a little like, and if possible you like my content, maybe try and subscribe. That'd be very, very nice. And I will catch you on the next one.